Boxing this week 85. We've got quite a lot to talk about. Right, let's get into it. We're just going to go straight away with the sort of stories. We're not going to go too much detail with really. Massive congratulations to Anthony Cacace, two-time world champion, now winning the WBA world title against Jazza Dickens. Unanimous decision win. I want to be really, really respectful and say a big congratulations to him. And it was a good fight and it was a good event. But I also do want to say, because we are an honest channel, it was not a great fight. The whole card, and I mean this in a really nice way, was a little disappointing. Pierce O'Leary did the job against Maxie Hughes, but Hughes had to drop out on his stool rather than, I don't know if it's more honourable to get knocked out in the ring, but Hughes basically, he got pulled by his corner. The main event, Cacace was always a little bit better than Dickens, but was never going to hurt Dickens. Dickens was never going to hurt Cacace. Is what it is. There was the other thing I want to say. Obviously, recently we've heard a bit about Queensbury having trouble with maybe selling tickets and keeping fighters and stuff. There were a lot of empty seats towards the end. Before the event had finished, there was a lot of empty seats in Dublin.
I think you've got to take into consideration as well that was done on St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yeah.
And the venue, and more than likely, fighters that have been fighting would have been out of there. Their fans would have been out of there so they can get down the pub.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be brutally honest with you.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I think you're right.
It's a good weekend. It's a good weekend to do boxing. But then in hindsight as well, it could be seen as a terrible weekend. Like Cacace in Ireland, in terms of somebody that you're going to get the millions tuning in for, is not a massive name. If McGregor was fighting on in MMA, I know it's a different sport, but McGregor was fighting on St. Patrick's weekend, you'd probably draw in massive crowds. All the pubs would be. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect, but it's just they're not of the same level in terms of commercially. So I don't think you can take too much away from that. I think they've done really well, to be fair, to do it on St. Patrick's Day. But also, like, you know, not every show that you see them do is going to be a full-seater unless it's, you know, a massive fight. We all know that casuals make a large percentage of boxing fans, or people that just like just you know, show up for the big fights. But you know, this new way that, you know, Frank Warren and that seem to be continuing doing, even past their ties and ventures with Riyadh. I think he's learnt a lot from it in terms of, you know, I think years ago we saw fighters being held back or not matched with a 50-50, and we're seeing more 50-50s now. 50-50 fights will attract the casuals.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, no. Look, overall, it was a good card, but you're right, fans. Parts of it, like for me watching as a boxing fan, I found it really difficult to watch just because, and this is no criticism to the guys that were on the card, but there was a lack. I didn't find parts of it that exciting, if that makes sense.
No, the main event was disappointing from an excitement point of view. If we think about what Cacace's done in his last 3 or 4 fights with Cordina, Warrington, and Lee Wood, Jazza Dickens was. The hard bit is you look at the record of Jazza Dickens in comparison to that of the names I've just mentioned, and he is worse.
Yeah.
But in terms of he's lost far more, so you'd expect Cacace to go in there and do a job on him. But the problem is Dickens is one of these that has got better after every single fight. He, you know, a loss has never defined him, unlike it does with some fighters. So I don't know. Styles make fights. The styles just didn't gel for a war. So it is what it is. Cacace goes on, extends his streak of, well, Cordina, Warrington, Wood, Jazza Dickens. Cacace is now surely looking at like an international fight. I know he's a world champion. I'm not taking that away from him, but we all know Americans bring money. Cacace versus an American, big fight. I'm trying to think who realistically it's kind of hard to say. I mean, you got your like Rafael Espinoza, but that's a very dangerous fight. That's a great fight though. Nick Ball, even. I mean, I know that I've just contradicted myself a little, but that'd be a really good fight. I'd love to see Nick Ball and Cacace get it on. That'd be really good. Yeah, like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on that. I want to shout out Gabriela Fundora, who 23 years old, undisputed, unified, all the belts,
Serious.
and is extending her knockout streak to 4 in a row now. She won by knockout in round 6, pretty brutal. I believe we're not allowed to show it. It's not Zuffa or anything like that, but it's again one of the weird ones. I'm not convinced we can, otherwise we would. But she knocked out Viviana Corredor. The only thing about Fundora that I want to mention is it time for her to move up in weight class, because the level of fighters that she's fighting at the moment are so far below her and what she can do. Only one division away, 4 pounds away, is Mizuki Hirata, who just won Ring Magazine Female Fighter of the Year.
Yeah.
Who's 10-0, who is, I think, around about the same size as Gabriela Fundora. She's not given up much in terms of height or anything. And she's a world champion at the division up. Like, it feels like Fundora now needs to just progress onto a new weight division, which is mental to say, because we're always criticizing people for moving divisions too quickly. And now I'm almost saying the opposite. But realistically, 23 years old, she could still be there for 5 years and then move up, and it is what it is. George Liddard versus Tyler Denny fight week, British Commonwealth titles. Very excited for that. Giorgio Visioli on the undercard as well. Jimmy Sains on the undercard as well against Ozazi, who's a really interesting story. We won't go into it too much. Maybe one day we'll get him on the channel. He's seemingly a very nice guy. I never spoke to him, but he seems like a very nice guy. But I believe he was a priest or a pastor in the before boxing or during boxing, and then he gave that up to go boxing full time. Like, it's a very, very interesting man.
The screen's gone funny.
Shite. Is it frozen funny or
no, like blurry?
Okay.
No, you're all good. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah, he's a very interesting man. No, it's cool. He's a very interesting man. So we'll maybe reach out to him and talk with him in the future. Obviously, not during fight week. That's ridiculous. But yeah, Bivol, who anybody who knows me knows that Bivol's my favorite fighter. He's my lock screen because I ain't got a missus. Bivol's the equivalent, apparently. Whatever.
Would you put your missus as your lock screen?
Would I?
Yeah.
Over Bivol? Nah, not over Bivol. But Bivol's in camp for a potential
just generally.
fight.
But yeah, go on.
Do
you know how I know you're lying? Because your screen's going blurry again. No.
Nah, Bivol all day. But he's in camp. He's finally back. He's obviously had surgery, I think twice maybe, on his back, and he's had all sorts of problems. He was actually injured in the Beterbiev fight, apparently, which is crazy to say. But it's his first fight back since beating Beterbiev in their rematch, and it's against German Michael Eifert, who, to be honest, is 13-1 and will not do anything to Bivol. Let's not pretend that is anything but an easy win for Bivol. But he is back. He's going to fight him on the Usyk Verhoeven undercard as the co-main event.
Yeah.
And then that sets up Bivol Beterbiev 3, which is only right. Which is only fair. It's 1-1. It's 1-1, and both fights are close.
It's mental. And this is no disrespect to Usyk here, but it's mental that Dmitry Bivol is in a proper boxing fight and he's co-main.
Yeah.
Nah, that's mental. Like, unpopular opinion, Usyk and Verhoeven, the 1-0 boxer, who had a fight about 10 years ago. I've already expressed my annoyance at that. They should be co-main. Bivol should be main event. I'm not even trying to hear it.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But
it's
what it is. Yeah, exactly. Bivol get paid nicely for it. I just want it to set up Bivol Beterbiev 3. I don't care how we get there. That's the fight we need. And then after that, we can start talking Bivol Smith, Bivol Benavidez, and all this
unless that fight happens, within this year, it won't happen. So I'm talking like it's Bivol. After this, it's Bivol's next fight has to be Beterbiev.
I think it will be,
because Beterbiev is older, and the problem is Beterbiev's what now, 41, 42?
Yeah.
So like, still in immaculate shape, but going into your 40s and stuff like that, it's difficult to capture the same form you may have had 2-3 years ago. We know Beterbiev has had issues as well with his hand. In
he's
the
had
past.
surgeries
So,
as
well, not to take away, he's probably fitter than 95% of 20-year-olds, but the hand injuries are something that you don't fully recover from. And how long he's been boxing, that's going to play a part the longer that he leaves it. And also inactivity for himself as well is only going to be worse for him now. So if we're seeing that fight, it's got to be Bivol's next fight after this. They have a 3-4 week break and they go in and they announce Beterbiev. That's how it's got to be.
No, you're right. It has to be. Especially, we don't look. We're lucky we got Bivol Beterbiev when they were both in their peak. So there is no question over like, did we get them at the best time? We 100% did. This third fight is becoming very delayed now. Like, it's only a matter of time before even Bivol, who's not young but not old, he's sort of mid-30s. There's a point where they both go over that hill, and I want to see that third fight, because now you've got Beterbiev coming back from a loss for the first time. Let's see how that looks. Let's see Bivol defending the undisputed. Well, I guess technically it might not be undisputed, but since he got stripped of one of his belts. But yeah, and then on the topic of that, because another fight we do want to see in the lightweight, or maybe cruiserweight, depending on what Bivol wants to do, is Benavidez. Benavidez has just been put in the ring pound for pound top 10. Deserved? I think so. It's not. It's a weird one. There's not a whole lot of pound for pound talent at the moment. I think we're approaching some. I think some are very close, but I think Benavidez has to be in there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say 10's fair enough. I don't think you can put him any higher because I just don't think he's consistently done it. I say consistently, he has been consistent, but when I look at it's, when you look at the top 10, yeah, and I'll just read off this is the current pound for pound top 10, and this is why I say it's fair enough. Obviously, number 1 you got Naoya Inoue. He's moved up to number 1. Alexander Usyk is number 2. Definitely, sorry. Alexander Usyk is number 2. Rodriguez is number 3. Rodriguez.
Okay, I don't agree with them being that high.
Yeah,
gotta be honest.
Dimitri Bivol 4. I'd swap them around personally, but have you said
Usyk?
Yeah, Usyk second.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
So Naoya Inoue 1, Usyk 2, Rodriguez is 3, Bivol's 4, Beterbiev is 5, Junto Nakatani is 6, Canelo Alvarez is 7th, Teofimo Lopez is 8th, Shakur Stevenson is 9th.
Well, no,
Benavidez is 10th.
Yeah, Lopez shouldn't be there. Lopez is not a top 10 pound for pound fighter. Shakur could probably be higher. I think Bam will be number 3. I think Bam could easily end up being pound for pound number 1 in the world, but to put him above, especially Bivol and Beterbiev, I'm not okay.
I would put Shakur Stevenson above Teo.
Yeah.
Above Junto.
Oh yeah.
I'd put him above Junto. You can't put him above Canelo. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest, you just can't. I think that man solidified a higher spot. I don't think he goes above Bivol. And I say that off the fact that Bivol beat him, to be honest with you. That's why.
Yeah. I don't think he goes above Bivol or Beterbiev.
But I think he goes above Bam Rodriguez, though. So I think the whole thing needs to be reshuffled.
I think that whole, realistically, for me, it's Inoue, Usyk 1 and 2. You can either way, doesn't matter. I think both they are 1 and 2. I would then go for Bivol.
Mm-hmm.
I think then Beterbiev. I think those two are just a different level. I'm going to put Shakur above Canelo. I will. So I go only because it should be like the current moment in time. Currently, Canelo's just lost to Crawford at his weight division when Crawford just came up. That's the definition of not being good pound for pound. So I'd go Shakur, then Canelo, then Junto, because his last performance wasn't great, but he still won, and that was a new weight division. So, actually, no. Then Bam, then Junto. Sorry. Bam's so weird though, because Bam's fought some of the best and knocked them out and made them look silly. So you could put Bam anywhere. But I'm trying to not be biased because in my head I'm a huge Bam Rodriguez fan, and I know he's going to end up going and doing great things. Is there a place for Boots Ennis there yet? Or does he need to beat Virgil or
Nah,
he's a name?
Nah, Boots Ennis has got to do a bit more, I think.
Okay.
But he could definitely be in there though, and he should be in there. And he will be. You know, I know we never got to see it, but him and Terence would have been an interesting fight to watch.
Really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah,
like we know he's good enough that he would have given Terence Crawford something to think about. I'm not, based off what we've seen currently, he does not beat Terence Crawford any day of the week. But I think there's the potential that by the end of Boots' career, we'll be talking about him and Crawford as a fantasy fight, and there will be debate for both. But I think Boots will get there. But yeah, no, you're right. For now, I need to see him fighting at 154.
Yeah.
But yeah. The other news for the week: Ammo Williams takes on Carlos Adames for Adames' WBC World Middleweight title. I just find this quite interesting. Just shows you how boxing works. Adames controversially drew with Shiraz. Arguably should have beat Shiraz. Shiraz had previously knocked out Ammo Williams to kind of get him the opportunity at that world title shot. And then now, in a big full circle, Ammo Williams fights for Adames' WBC title. So one of those interesting things. I mean, what would be great is if Ammo Williams beat Carlos Adames, and then we got Williams Shiraz 2 for the WBC World Middleweight title. Although Shiraz has gone up in weight, but that'd be pretty cool. Do you see Ammo Williams winning this? I don't, got to be honest.
No. It's hard to say, but you know, if I go off past performances, I'll say no.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, but you know, a loss doesn't define a boxer nowadays. So, you know, sometimes a loss is the best thing that can happen to certain people. It elevates them to a new level.
Yeah, true.
You know, it's a hard question to answer without seeing him getting in there and fight. I know that's like sitting on the fence saying that, but I need to see what Ammo Williams turns up. If I'm going off like past performances, no, he doesn't win. But I don't know. Like, it's a really hard question to answer. I think when you answer that question about any boxer who's kind of built themselves back up to a certain point after coming off the back of a loss, or coming off a loss that, you know, changed their trajectory and then they've had to climb back up again. I think it's a really difficult question to answer, bro. I'll be honest with you, because
I agree.
When I look at them sort of questions, it's like, you know, the best example in boxing, in British boxing, I think you can ever use of that is Johnny Nelson.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Johnny Nelson's a great example of coming back from adversity.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, Johnny Nelson had a ridiculous amount of power, but you know, and he had a great coach as well, coming out the Ingle gym. But listen, I mean, if you're asking me off the basis of now, probably not. But you know, don't be surprised if he doesn't shock everyone or surprises everyone with his performance, because he's got that in him as well.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think Austin he's got the ability. I don't think he is there yet to beat Carlos, because Carlos Adames is a really good champion.
Yeah.
It's not a walk in the park kind of fight. Like, Adames will come prepared, willing to knock you out if he sees that chance, or willing to do the 12 rounds, which he's done so many times. Williams just got to be careful. I will support Ammo Williams on this because I like him. He comes across well, but I don't. I think this is going to be too early. I think this is another set. Well, it depends how you look at it. Could be another setback, but yeah. Right. Hold on. I'm just going to die for a second. Right. We've got a bit of a new era of boxing starting on Friday in Belfast. We have Conlon versus Walsh. Michael Conlon, that is. Misfits Pro's first event. Obviously not their biggest event. Their biggest event, and the one they're promoting more, is Wilder versus Chisora.
Yes.
At the O2, Vidal Riley, Masternak on the undercard. Yeah, we know about that event. But their first event, Conlon versus Walsh in Belfast. Now, I'm going to get up the actual the sort of the fights that are going on. Obviously, can we? I mean, Michael Conlon. I might be not speaking for both of us here. I kind of just wanted him to not fight anymore. Brilliant amateur. Don't think he's got the chin or power for the pros, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because he's still done a very good. He's had a very good career. He's 20-3. But I don't know. Can you see him doing anything more than what he's done?
No.
Yeah.
I'll just be honest with you.
No. It's an interesting event. So Michael Conlon, we all know about. We'll talk about him a little bit more as well. Kevin Walsh, if you don't know, 19-0, 10 knockouts from the US. Just looking very quickly through who he's fought. It's a mixed bag. His last fight was against someone that was 8-1. His fight before that was 19-6. Before that was 20-2. So it looks to me like he fights whoever's in front of him on the night. I'm guessing there's pull out, all that kind of stuff. But he's got himself there. Kieran Molly versus Javier Collin. Okay fight. 13-0 fights, 15-2-1 for the European title. Although the IBF European, so not quite, EBU is the one you really want. But again, it's an all right fight. Kieran Molly's a decent prospect. We'll see what he does. And then the rest of the fights, three of them, really, and I'm being nice on one of them, are all quite one-sided, typical boxing promotion. Like, there's nothing groundbreaking about this card. What do you think? Is it a Misfits just going to be another Vasselman, that we had with the Sauerland brothers?
With all due respect, it is still the Sauerland brothers, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's just them with KSI, basically.
It's still the Sauerland brothers, but they're on a bigger platform now because they've got the DAZN deal. So, it's a bit bigger than Channel 5, with all due respect.
Bigger, definitely.
Surprisingly, though, the numbers that they used to do on Channel 5 were mental, by the way.
Yeah, they were. They're millions of viewers, yeah.
But no, I think this is going to be the way forward. I mean, I look at MF Pro a bit like MVP.
Right.
And I put them two in the same bracket because I feel like they are promoting, but they're promoting, it's with a different kind of style about them. Don't be like, Misfits have come from the boxer background. It's not actually called, from what I was looking at research, Misfits Pro as well.
It's just MF Pro.
Just MF Pro. Yeah, there's no Misfits in it.
But
Misfits is the separate thing, which is what he's clarified. Misfits is Misfits. This is MF Pro.
Yeah.
So, but it is linked to, we link it with Misfits because of their involvement with YouTube boxing, if you want to call it, on the Misfits platform.
Yeah.
Look, I do think it's their first show. I think we just need to watch it and see what we can make of it potentially. I like the fact that we are getting more promoters that are kind of keeping up with the times. You know, we spoke about Top Rank last week.
Yeah.
A promotion that is like an outdated dinosaur now. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't even think Top Rank could compete with MVP now. I'll be honest with you.
No, not right now. They've lost a lot of their fighters.
So it's like MF Pro starting out, and they'll be the new kids on the block. MVP are no longer new kids on the block.
Yeah,
but they've got experienced promoters behind them. Saul and Brothers are experienced. You know, and you know, I think KSI being involved is just a front, like in terms of a face to the brand. Yeah. But I think the real work's done by the Sauerland brothers. Vidal Riley signing to MF Pro was a massive thing, probably linked to his relationship with KSI.
Definitely.
But also, MF Pro is a platform that, you know, takes into consideration your careers or your other things. This is what Vidal Riley said. We know Vidal Riley is massive in the YouTube world, but he's also a professional boxer. So he's like, this deal allows him to basically focus both on his boxing and his work into one, but fighting at a high level, not fighting at a YouTuber level, but a high level. Yes, I said it, high level. So, you know, it works for him, and it will attract other fighters like this. You know, the only fighter from, you know, that MF Pro will make announcements in a couple of weeks. I'd like to see that Ty Mitchell go and fight for MF Pro. Yeah. Just to see, I know he's 35, but just to see how good he is, because we know he sparred. All his sparring is done with world champion. You know, like he was Fury's main sparring partner.
Just beat Gabriel Rosado, who is not the best professional boxer ever, but he is a veteran pro fighter, and Ty Mitchell beat him easily. I'm not buying into it too much. Like, let's not kid ourselves. That's not a prime Rosado. But he still beat him.
I've heard Ty Mitchell's good though. Like, as in,
exactly. I'd like to see him cross over.
The reason I think he's hit his ceiling with the Misfits, because I don't think that any of these lot beat Ty Mitchell. I'll be honest with you. Like, I just think he's levels above them. You know, I'd even say the same for Tom. Like, you know, if he put his differences aside, Tommy Fury should be looking at this and going, MF Pro. Tommy Fury can fight at professional level.
He's perfect for MF Pro.
Put your differences aside with KSI and go make some money.
Exactly.
Like, and it benefits both of you. That, you know, they're two fighters they could pull over that are going to bring a lot of revenue in for their brand, on top of the other professional fighters that they will sign. Listen, it's their first show. We can't look too much into it, but I think, you know, they're in a good place commercially. So I just hope the show is as good as, you know, what they've put out there to us commercially.
Yeah. Are you expecting? Look, we know it's not the YouTube show, right? So it's not going to be the same thing. But we've seen Misfits make headlines because they do things that are a bit outlandish with their, whether it's like a tag team boxing or whatever. We're obviously not going to get tag team boxing in a professional aspect.
No.
But are you expecting anything a little bit special about this? Because this is like marketing geniuses of what built Misfits.
I am expecting them to do stuff, maybe fresher ideas, slightly different. But it resonates with professional boxing.
Yeah, so exactly. It has to be professional. But
I think they will do differently, but in respect of the space that they're in. The space that they need to respect the space they're in, which they do. Sauerland brothers are the promoters, and they've got a great, you know, a great thing behind them. You know, he's already working with Frank Warren on the Chisora and Wilder card.
Exactly.
So I like the fact that all the British promoters are working together now. I really do. Like, I think
it's good.
I think they need to do it more. And you know, you know, it's going to be a bit of push and pull. I'm going to use that famous phrase from Carl Froch, push and pull, because MF Pro. If I'm MF Pro as well, by the way, you know who I'm looking at for fighters? Boxer.
Yeah.
Can I be honest with you? I know the fighters have got deals in place with Ben, but from a commercial element, I'm taking. So you need female fighters, right? Lauren Price is still a boxer, in it.
Yeah, Lauren Price.
I'm taking Lauren Price. I'm taking Francesca Hennessy. That's an up and coming fighter who commercially is
well, Francesca Hennessy fits the MF Pro. What you'd expect MF Pro to be.
And on the male side, Callum Simpson, I'm taking him. Rebuild him. I know he lost, but you can rebuild him. He's a good fighter.
Very good fighter. Yeah.
There's fighters there that I think would excel more on an MF Pro platform. With that DAZN deal in place. So they're going to be looking around. Look, it's their first show. They're going to do. I think they'll do stuff differently, but it's hard to say until we actually watch the show.
Yeah, true.
But I think they'll do it within respect of professional boxing space. So I am excited to see the MF Pro card, and I think fans need to understand this is not Misfits. I am seeing a lot online of people saying the YouTubers have just gone into professional boxing. It's not the case. They're two separate entities. Please understand that this is a professional, like Matchroom, like Queensbury, different company, higher level of fighters. So, to be fair, so I'm excited, Connor. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see it. And we'll just have to wait to, I suppose, the night to see what we're going to get with them.
No, I'm the same. I'm hoping they do switch up a little bit without obviously taking away from the boxing, but just add a little bit of their own thing. We don't need another generic promotion, Talking about the promoters, are Top Rank back? They've signed with DAZN. They have a broadcaster again. There's two ways to look at this, okay? I think the one way is that Top Rank have now got a broadcaster. They're going to put shows on again. Which, by the way, is that is a good thing, regardless of what of who you like in the promoting sense. It's good that those fighters that are under contract will actually be platformed. Do we think DAZN have done that because they really wanted Top Rank and they wanted to work with Bob Arum, who we know is seemingly a bit annoying to work with at times, or are DAZN doing that to push back against Netflix, who have kind of come in and taken some of the biggest events that a year ago would have been DAZN events.
Yeah.
So,
listen, we look at DAZN's biggest. Yeah, I mean, DAZN are dealing with a big beast in Netflix. Netflix are a big beast, even though their background isn't sports or combat sports. They're just that big that they can go, you know what? I'm going to take this show, I'm going to take that show, and we're going to put it on Netflix. Yeah. And the thing is, as a paying fan, what's a DAZN subscription? About 20 quid a month?
24. I think I paid 24,
24 quid a month, Go and pay $7.99 or $8.99 with Netflix.
Yeah, and Netflix got better fights at the moment as well. That's the problem.
And this is the issue, I mean, will we see Netflix prices go up once they start realizing how much money they can make from the boxing, and then they want to make more? That kind of is a general route, but DAZN got a big issue on the hand right now because they could lose a lot of fights. But at the moment, they've got the main promoters signed with them. I mean, getting Queensbury was massive, by the way.
Yeah.
Because Queensbury historically were always, they were TNT for a long time.
BT Sport, TNT, that's where they were with. And then DAZN managed to pull them away. Obviously, started with Matchroom. Really, DAZN, the only ones that DAZN don't have, at least under like an exclusive capacity, are sort of MVP, but they do get MVP shows. PBC, they don't really get. And then obviously Zuffa.
MVP is smart though. I'll tell you why. Because you look at it like this, like they put their card on April the 5th. Yeah. That card wouldn't make sense to put on DAZN and wouldn't make sense because I don't think they would get a massive outreach. But putting it on Sky, mad smart. Yeah. So I think MVP will have a multi-deal thing across with different promoters. I think the UK fights, they could steal that space that Sky said that they weren't going to be in anymore. Yeah. and go with Sky Sports, which I think is a massive kick in the teeth for Ben, because look, again, respect to Ben, because he's another British promoter who works very hard, but he's got a task on his hands. And Sky come out and said, we're not doing boxing anymore, you're the last one, and then they go and agree this. It's just a one show deal at the moment with MVP. Obviously we represented at the press conference for MVP when the fight was announced, or the fighters were announced in the UK, and they had Dubois, Cameron, Emma Dolan, Ellie Scottney on there, Caroline Dubois, Terry Harper, and they were all there, and Sky was there broadcasting, and you just get the feeling that Sky, when Sky's involved with boxing, it's different. Like, you have to go to like a presser to understand it, but Sky have to be involved with boxing. But going back to the point, DAZN they've got a massive task on their hands, because I think Netflix are going to take a lot of them this year. Personally,
I think so. I think DAZN will be left. Basically, whatever Netflix don't want is what DAZN will get. And they need to sort of change that, because as much as I don't know, look, the fact is DAZN will not be happy that Tyson Fury is fighting Makhmedov on a Netflix card, and they won't be happy that AJ versus Jake Paul was on a Netflix card. They won't be happy Canelo Crawford was on Netflix. This is
the thing is though, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's bids that go out for broadcasting.
Yeah,
so DAZN, the only way DAZN would have lost that is if they couldn't match what they were doing, and if they can't match what Netflix are doing, then that's something you need to look at internally. You can't be annoyed at the boxers for it.
But I think we already know they cannot match Netflix.
But this is the thing. It's like the fighters are in there at the end of the day. The fighters are the brand, right? So when I look at someone like Joshua, DAZN need Joshua for their show to be big. If they're doing a card fitted around Joshua, right? Not specifically, they need Joshua to be big. DAZN are huge. But if you're doing a card where Joshua's the main event, you're going to make a lot of money. Yeah. If you put Ajit Kabale on that card, you're not going to make a lot of money as a main event. You see the difference
in comparison, definitely. Yeah.
So, and Joshua, and with the Joshua and Jake Paul fight, Jake Paul was putting it on MVP, and they put it on Netflix. It was a most valuable promotions event. It wasn't an Eddie Hearn event. So, and Jake Paul offered him that near enough. I think it was 70 or 80 million. It's mad though, because he only actually walked out of about 40 million after tax. But I think he would have known that when he took the deal, which is why it can seem like he's getting paid a lot. But when you're getting half of it taken off you, you think if he'd have fought for 40 million, how much of that would have been taxed, and then how much would he have walked out with?
He still would have been taxed. He would have been in the highest tax bracket at 40 million. Like,
that's what I'm saying to you. So also, half of that.
Also, 40 million quid is 40 million quid. Like, let's not pretend.
No, but I'm saying
I know what you're saying.
If the bottom line, so he got paid 80 million for that fight, but he realistically got 40 million because of tax, right?
Right.
If the bottom line is 40 million and not 80 million, he's not getting 40 million after tax, after he's paid his fees to his promoters, after he's paid all of this.
Oh, okay.
You see where I'm coming from?
Okay, I understand.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So they I think he probably knew that when he took it, but like at the end of the day, like there's purse bids for the promoters to want to promote the event. There's also bids for that. So yeah.
I think the worry will be if Netflix want contracts with people. At the moment, they only want single fights. They are picking and choosing what they take. It's when Netflix potentially decide, and we've heard about them wanting sport for a long time. It's only recently they've actually started doing it. But it's if Netflix go, do you know what? Matchroom, Queensbury, let's have all your fights. Let's just have it all. That's when DAZN could really be in trouble, because, well, that's when they will lose out in comparison. They will. Matchroom you know, Matchroom and Queensberry are quite loyal. Matchroom with Sky Sports for a long time. Queensberry with TNT. So potentially your DAZN will have the benefit of loyalty, but a promoter is going to choose a way of making the most money for his fighters every day of the week. So if you're blown out the water by that, no promoter in the world is able to justify not picking them on the higher money option. So do we think Top Rank are back?
No.
No, I agree.
I think that if you look at like I don't know, like if you look like I compared Top Rank here.
Yeah.
Honestly, I compared Top Rank to like bottom of the barrel, like pauper level promoters now. I know respectfully they're a big promotion, but as a fan, in terms of what I'm seeing and then what I'm hearing the fighters are getting paid, Teofimo Lopez was with Top Rank, right?
Yep. Still, I think
go look how much money this guy's earned from his fights. As an undisputed world champion and all of these sorts of things, I'd be going mental. What? Terence Crawford laughing at one point said, "You ain't even earned $3 million from boxing. It's crazy." Like, so Top Rank, you know, obviously Bob Arum's a legendary promoter, but you know, every dog. What's the saying? Every dog's got their day in it.
Yeah, his day is done. As a promoters go, Bob Arum is not. He's not up there anymore. But Top Rank do have good fighters still. You know, they've still got Xander Zayas. They've still got Abdullah Mason. They have Michaela Mayer, sort of the most recent of them.
Give Abdullah Mason another year, and he's with Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, he'll be with Eddie or Zuffa or whoever he'll go.
I think he'll be with Eddie Hearn. I'll be honest with you, because I think Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren is great. You know, historically has been great with building up the UK fighters' profiles. But in terms of UK promoters, Eddie Hearn's really the biggest that's gone over there and actually done bits for the American fighters. Like, you know,
he's probably the biggest in America now.
He's got Shakur, like, in a deal.
He's got Shakur. He's got Boots. He's got Bam.
Yeah.
Andy Cruz is still a big name, even though
if I'm Abdullah Mason and I'm looking at that, and you're talking about 3 or 4 of the biggest names in boxing in America right now,
you should pick
it's a no-brainer. Like, what you go with De La Hoya, you get tied up into a contract that you can't get out.
Don't go with De La Hoya. That's the worst decision.
And you go to Bob Arum, and you don't get, you know, Shakur Stevenson had inactivity with Top Rank. You don't want to, but what Eddie Hearn would do, and with every fighter that he's got signed, is that he brings them regular fights.
Eddie gets you the best fights as well. So if you're serious about getting in there with the best, Eddie Hearn will deliver that. We saw Shakur at Top Rank screaming for better fights, and we were sat here rightfully questioning: is that the promoter or is that Shakur? Shakur under Eddie Hearn, Zepeda and Lopez. You know.
If you talk to me about Shakur now, since he's joined Eddie Hearn, I say I always knew how good he was as a boxer, but what I'm trying to say is, and I said this, and I can't run away from it because I said it, and I did believe it at one point. I weren't seeing Shakur Stevenson in there with Top Rank with opponents that made me think, you're in pound for pound top 10. I know you're good. I know you're very good, extremely good. But the fights you're having are not making sense. Since he's joined Eddie Hearn, you know, Eddie Hearn's elevated his profile with the fights that he's got to match the level of ability that he is, to say he is a pound for pound top 10. That is that simple.
Yeah, you can't even question it anymore. Yeah, he's but that's the thing. What Eddie's done with American fighters is unbelievable. You can easily say he's got 2 in the top 10 pound for pound. He's got Bam and he's got Shakur.
100%.
He promoted Canelo for a while as well. Like, Eddie's done a lot. Eddie's done a lot in America. We're going to speak about it quickly. Anthony Joshua is returning to boxing. So he is in camp. There is no fight announced. We're going to very quickly squash. Well, Eddie Hearn's done it, but we're going to spread the news. Him and Tyson Fury is not a signed fight. It's not confirmed, sadly, but it's not.
Disclaimer though,
Yeah.
if this does, we've been looking, we research our stuff before we do these shows. Yeah, it's not freelance. Yeah. And we know the info, but disclaimer, if by any stretch Eddie Hearn comes out in 3 days and says that fight is announced, we're only going off what we said now. But as of now, sorry, carry on, Connor.
As of now, so 17th of March, there you go. Eddie, look, the initial plan was AJ was going to fight Jake Paul, and then afterwards they had extensive conversations. Tyson Fury was going to make his comeback, which he's doing against Makhmedov, and then at September time, late-ish this year, we would have AJ Fury, but nothing was ever signed. And then AJ had the car accident, lost 2 of his dearest friends. We didn't even know if he was going to continue boxing. We now know he is. It's confirmed that he is in a training camp at the moment. He's only about a week in, so no fight announcement. This is fairly standard. What looks like it's going to happen, from everything being said, AJ is going to have a warm-up fight. Hopefully it will be fairly competitive. I'm seeing Dillian White's name thrown around quite a lot, which is hard to get too excited about. I know there's a really good rivalry there, but you saw what Moses did to Dillian White, and Dillian White is not. He's not the quality that we really want from AJ. But given the circumstance, it's AJ's first fight back since the accident. And the 2 people he lost weren't just friends; they were part of his team that helped him get ready for fights. So I'm more than okay to see him versus Dillian White. I think it sells really well. It does money. AJ should win, and then we go on. But AJ Fury is not signed. You could maybe say it's close, but there's really no reports. Eddie Hearn has shut it down for better or worse, sadly, I guess. Something that is nearly signed, which is a bit of an oxymoron, but Devin Haney versus Rolly Romero, May 30th, Ring Magazine card. Apparently will be finalised within the next day or so. I mean, that's just brilliant. That's just exciting. I like both of them. I think Devin wins that fight, but Rolly Romero, when he beat Ryan Garcia at welterweight, actually looked like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Which is very rude to say, but Rolly's one of the most talented boxers without talent I think I've ever seen, if that makes any sense.
100%. 100%.
The bloke wins fights. He's got some really good wins on his resume, and yet I don't really understand how he does it, because it is not the way that boxing should be done in a lot of ways. Obviously, Rolly's been in the headlines a lot anyway with the sort of Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields has said pretty clearly she would outbox Rolly Romero, which has caused all sorts of backlash, some of which is justified. There is the obvious, which is the power. Rolly is more powerful than Claressa Shields.
I
don't think he would catch her, though, by the way.
I will say, in Claressa Shields' defense, when I first heard that, is rage baiting there, innit? Because when you hear that headline, it says Claressa Shields said that she would beat. The headline is Claressa Shields says she would beat Rolly Romero. What she is saying is, she said, they talk about the power, and she said, I never said I was stronger than him. She goes, but she said, I'm a better boxer than him. So I would just go for the body because I believe I'm a quicker boxer than him.
Yeah.
That is what she said. I don't believe her, but I understand why she may believe that. She's one of the best female fighters of all time. Yeah. I say one of because there's a few that are just,
Kate Taylor's, Layla Ali's. There's a few you can throw in
there. And what she's done across different divisions is mental. But arguably, let's look at the level of the opponent she fought in her last fight. With all due respect, wasn't great. Claressa Shields was winning that fight. We said, you would have put your house on Claressa Shields winning that fight. That is how one-sided it was. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, these fights she's having at heavyweight, no one really knows heavyweight female boxers. There's not many of them, but
No, there's not.
I don't know any female heavyweight boxers other than what we're seeing with Clarissa Shields.
Yeah.
And it questions, and I've seen some of the fighters that she's been in there with, and I question the level of opponent she's fighting. Yes, she is outstanding. Yes, she is very good boxing, but she ain't boxing the same level of opponents. That's just a fact. She can come argue that on the podcast with us, we'll have her on. But massive respect to Clarissa Shields, because I rate her as like a very high skilled, high level boxer. And she's one of the best female boxers to do it of all time. But let's not have it right. Let's have it right. Her heavyweight journey. Talk to me about when she beat Savannah Marshall and all these people. Cool. Respect given. No problem. You fought hard opponents in there. But who the hell are you fighting at heavyweight? Sorry.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, I think she beat Rolly.
She's a better boxer. But what if Rolly Romero hits her?
I don't think he'd land on her. That's the honest truth. Look, there's the. I don't think he would. I don't think he would.
If Rolly Romero hits Clarissa Shields, yeah, no head guard, because we see what happened to her sparring with a head guard.
I'm saying it's a pro. Look, if there's head guards and big gloves, no doubt in my mind, Clarissa Shields.
Look at what that fighter done to her in sparring with a head guard on. That's all I'm saying to you.
Sparring's different though.
Of course, it's different. But
you're trying things out. There's no context to sparring.
She fought.
A pro fight's a pro fight.
I listen. Men get dropped in sparring. I hear it, yeah. But the way that she got dropped with a head guard on against somebody that size, all I'm saying to you is, you're right, and I agree with you to an extent. I think Clarissa Shields is a better boxer than Rolly Romero, 1,000,000%.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In terms of technique, yes, I agree. But my thing is, at some point in the fight, you're going to get hit. And I don't think she's going to be able to deal with that. And I'm going to say it, that level of testosterone. I've said it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't disagree that there's a reason we don't have mixed.
We don't have mixed for a
mixed
reason.
Boxing. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. I'm saying in this hypothetical, I'm saying, look, I think Clarissa could do the 12. That's the only thing I'm struggling with is that Clarissa's never done 12 rounds, 3 minutes. So that's maybe the one thing. If it was 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 2-minute rounds, I don't know. All I'm saying, it wouldn't surprise me. Look, the real point is we've got Haney versus Rolly. That's what we should be.
I was about to say something mad, so I'm glad you carried on.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
We've got Haney versus Rolly. Devin Haney's been very impressive at welterweight. Rolly Romero, I mean, technically has been equally impressive, beating Ryan Garcia and ruining the Haney Garcia rematch that we were going to have not that long ago. First of all, are we happy with this fight? I think that's obvious, though. I mean,
yeah, it's a good fight.
It's unification. Rolly Romero's a good fighter. It'll be interesting to see what Devin does against the Ryan Garcia opponent as well, especially at welterweight.
No, yeah, like
and
as I said,
and then it sets up a rematch for either of them.
I think Garcia beats Devin Haney again.
After his Barrios win, he was brilliant.
I think Garcia beats Devin Haney. They fought in the amateur, and Devin Haney's been. I just think, there's some boxers you fight,
yeah,
and they're just better than you. They just
know how to beat you.
Like they fought in the amateurs, him and Garcia. I'm hearing that Garcia's like 2-1 over Haney in the amateurs.
Yeah. I think Haney won the last fight they had, but Garcia was 2-up. I think I believe it's something like that. You might be right. Garcia might just always have Haney's number.
Yeah,
it might be like the boogeyman for Haney, Ryan Garcia, but I think Haney will beat Rolly.
Yeah,
he should beat Rolly. And then bring on Haney Garcia too, because we spoke about it before. That is one of the biggest fights in the whole of boxing. I mean, commercially, after what that first fight ended up being, the whole their rematch is at 1 million pay-per-views. I think it is that big. So bring it on. Obviously, that's not finalised yet, but it was a very good. It's a very good source that's saying that it's Michael Coppinger saying that we're ready to go with Haney Rolly, and also it's not a coincidence that on the Ring Magazine show Inside the Ring, I believe it's called. I don't want to not credit them. They had Devin Haney on, and they were talking about Rolly Romero. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's all part of promotion. So very excited for that. That's boxing this week. The only thing we haven't mentioned, actually, and we will mention it, I was going to ignore it, but no, we will. Ben Whittaker, turning 29. Eddie Hearn has said he wants him to fight twice this year. Are we bordering a point where we're a little bit disappointed with what Ben Whittaker's done? Are we approaching that? Because 29 years old is not a young fighter.
I think he needs to move up and fight world level fighters now. That is not a prospect anymore, bro. That is not a prospect anymore.
Yeah.
And I think he needs to be tested. I think Lyndon Arthur's a good fight for him.
Great
Genuinely,
fight.
I do.
Really enjoy that fight, yeah.
Dan Aziz is a good fight for him.
Yeah, I think Craig Richards would be really good after what Richards did to
Craig Spider Richards, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's under Matchroom as well, so that's
I don't think that's an easy fight for Ben Whittaker.
No, God, no.
I think Lyndon Arthur is a tougher fight for him, just because Lyndon Arthur won't take half the shit he does.
Yeah, true.
And and then you go up in that light heavyweight division. I mean, he's lucky Benavidez has left, because I don't think in any world Ben Whittaker beats Benavidez. But then you've still got Bivol there. How long for, I don't know. Beterbiev.
Has Whittaker the right to fight
Anthony Yard.
Anthony Yard's a great fight, especially coming off the loss. But is Whittaker, he
has to, because how many of these warm-up fights can you have? The guy spent,
I agree.
The guy spent half his career doing it on Boxer. Yeah. And I like Ben Whittaker, but I am saying it's getting to a point now where we need to see how good he is in there. So he can, he's a good fighter. I'm not taking nothing away from him. But how good are you? That's what people want to know. And I don't think you can hide behind. It's not him hiding behind it. He's the promoters making the fights. He will just fight. How quick he can stop people is not his fault. But it's quite clear to see that he's in there with people that he's just better than at the moment. He needs to be in there with somebody who, and he might be better than somebody that on paper is meant to be a 50-50. He might be better than them when it comes to being in the ring, but we need that kind of fight. He needs to have a fight announced with like a Craig Richards or a Lyndon Arthur, like I said, Anthony Yard. I think Anthony Yard's experience and level that he's fought at, I think, might not be something that can happen straight away. You've got Josh Buatsi there as well. You've got Callum Smith there. I don't think you should fight him, but you've got Callum Smith.
Callum Smith fighting David Morrell, maybe the winner or loser of that fight.
David Morrell himself. There you go. There's another fighter there.
There's a lot of great fights in there. I really like the Craig Richards fight or the Lyndon Arthur fight, because you're right. Lyndon Arthur wouldn't take the shit, and Craig Richards just got a really good win. And Richards has fought Bivol and been in there with some of the best. So yeah. Well, it reminds me a little bit of when we were talking about Shakur earlier. When you were saying about Shakur earlier, the difference is that Shakur was a world champion, and Shakur did have a couple good wins at that point. But it's to the same extent of, we know Ben Whittaker's brilliant. There's no doubt about that. We know he's got potential. But we now need to see the proof. Eddie Hearn saying he's going to get him fighting twice this year. We've been told for the last 2 months that a fight date is imminent, and it's never come. So I'm not hopeful that we're going to see him fight twice this year, but I want us to, because he's a huge name.
If he wants to be a world champion, with the greatest respects, what would that be? It's 3 fights this year. He should be looking to get out 4 times.
Yeah. Especially if the opponent level is not.
What is your plan with Ben Whittaker? Fair enough, if you're a world level challenging fighter, you're probably not going to fight 3 times in a year, or you might just fight 3 times or 2.
Yeah, exactly. It depends who he's going to fight.
Unless you're a newie, you're not going to do that, innit?
He's the only bloke, and he does 4 a year, and they're against the best in the division.
A joke. But you know, he's you know what? At the moment, he's European level.
Yeah, no, he is. That is exactly where he is. He's European level, and Craig Richards is above that. Lyndon Arthur is above that. So, I mean, personally, I actually really want to see Richards versus Arthur. But when we throw Ben Whittaker into the mix, I like the fight. He beats them, and then the second fight of the year, if he's only having 2 this year, the second fight of the year can be against an Anthony Yard. Against
won't happen. No,
I agree. I don't think it will, but I'm hopeful. I'm ever hopeful. But that's boxing this week at 85. A lot to talk about. Hopefully next week we will have even more. Ideally, we'll have Haney Rowley completely finalised, and then we'll go into a bit more detail with that. We only found out about that about 10 minutes before starting recording, so it is what it is. But subscribe, you will have seen it every week on everything. We have got a £50 Amazon gift card giveaway when we hit 500 subscribers. We are pretty close. I think we're at 370 at the time of recording, which we're very thankful for, but also I think like 80-something% of you are not subscribed, and that is hurtful. So change it, please. Share, TikTok, Instagram, that's pretty much it. YouTube, we're kind of everywhere, really. Just follow us on everything. Each one gets kind of exclusive content. It's all worth being on if you like boxing. Yeah, Paolo, anything for the lovely people at home?
Happy St. Patrick's Day, as we are recording this on Tuesday. To those that are celebrating, this will come out on Thursday, but this was recorded on Tuesday.
Yeah,
this is the dedication we put in. But having said that, before you raise your glasses, click the red bell, subscribe, follow us. It takes 30 seconds. It doesn't cost you any money.
Yep.
Like we've said, Amazon giveaway. Who doesn't like free money? We're not asking for your email address. We're not asking for your phone number. Just flip in, subscribe, man. There we go. Anyway, see you later.